Ready?
Yeah.
Should I intro?
Yeah, you got an intro.
Welcome to the Do Less podcast. I'm Jake Velasquez.
I'm Mike Bermonte, and we have a special guest today. Please introduce yourself.
Oh, yes. Thank you for not doing it for me. I'm Ben Kirschenbaum. No, but it's an honor to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, come on. This is it.
Yeah, this is Ben's first of many appearances. Recurring guest. We just signed the contract. He's locked in.
He'll be on quite a bit. Because we all have nothing to do.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. This is...
Best abilities, availability.
Mark that down. That could be a future quote of the Do Less podcast.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Mantra.
Yeah. Now we're building quite a book, between segments, quotes. I mean...
We might have had too many segments last episode. Maybe it was too much. I don't know.
We're getting a little crazy with the segments. We're going a little segment happy, but I think the more we get, the more we could choose from. We just can't have too many in each episode. We'll let the listeners decide.
That's right.
Yeah,
we'll
let the listeners
Or you
decide.
just find one segment that you got to do. You find your carpool karaoke. You find one thing, it catches on, you ride with it.
And then we license that for millions of dollars.
We think it could be Think Tank.
Right.
Is what I think.
Well, the think tank will be a self-fulfilling prophecy. People will start hiring us to be their think tank.
If you start a company from an idea that came from this podcast, just know we're entitled to 10%.
We have royalties. We'll send our lawyer after you, Rudy Giuliani, and we do have a connection to him. So
the case will be in Jersey because he's being disbarred in New York.
Offshore.
It'll be an offshore. We will have the trial in Guam.
We feel confident there.
Be a trial by combat.
Yeah.
Where he's just quoting my cousin Vinny in Game of Thrones. Guy drops references like crazy.
He's right in New York. Right in New York.
So Ben, how are you doing? How are you feeling? What's going on?
I'm good. I'm excited, man.
Yeah.
Been having a interesting week. So I'm a listener of the Do Less podcast. I have been since the very beginning, and so I know the theme, here, and I know it's what you guys value and what you guys don't value, and I'm on board.
Yeah,
I really am.
Not only are you a listener, you do get some secret uncut footage.
I sometimes get uncut footage.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, we don't cut anything, but we just send you. You're the first listen.
Somewhat of a consultant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A
like
consultant.
Yeah, outside consultant. Sometimes, we're contractors, but we also contract out.
Yeah.
That's one of these scenarios.
And consultant, great Do Less profession.
Oh, I mean, you got one at the table.
Come on, former consultant right here.
Yeah.
You don't do anything, just give an opinion.
Yeah.
Right?
Even that, I don't think you do.
No, because I would change my opinion based on what the client would like. I'd be like, hey, let's fire some people, and they'd be like, hey, we're gonna build it up.
Any job where you're an ear, any job where you're lending an ear.
Oh, just lend an ear.
Lend an ear. Yeah.
Well, consultants, they just want you. They're just cover for you. Like if something goes wrong, they could blame it on you.
Right.
And I'll take the fall all day long.
It's like an NFL kicker.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, I've had a good week. I'll tell you guys about this in the Do Less theme. I think the most Do Less thing that I do is on Mondays. I've been answering. My dad's a doctor, and I've been answering his phone calls. I've been his receptionist. I transfer the calls to my cell phone, so I'm not in the office. Oh. And the beauty of that is that I don't have the power to do anything. So if you call, it's like, all right, so pretend that you're calling me and that you want me to fill a prescription.
Hey, I'm calling for Dr. Kirschenbaum.
Oh, hey, how you doing? This is Ben from the office. What can I do for you?
I would like to set up an appointment.
I'll cut you off right there. Unfortunately, we take the calls out of office on Monday, so we're not able to make appointments. But if you could give a call back tomorrow, that would be great.
Okay, yeah, I'll make sure to call back tomorrow.
Sure, anytime between 9 and 4. Have a good one.
Thanks.
I mean, that's a great job.
That's a pretty good job.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
See, and that's a way to work smarter, not harder.
Right, and we're about that. He can't do anything from working remote.
I'm not lying.
That's the beauty of it. I know.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it.
That's always my favorite scenario. Is like I would help you if I could.
Right.
You know, but I can't.
Oh, sure.
I will be saying that to some of my clients sometimes. Like, I wish I could help you, but I can't, with a smile ear to ear.
And we did the appointment example. I mean, sometimes there's an emergency.
Right.
What am I gonna do?
Sometimes somebody's life is on the line.
Yeah, my dad's a urologist. Sometimes someone's bladder is falling out of their
Right.
Crevices, and
Testicular torsion.
sometimes it's testicular torsion.
Yeah.
And I say, listen, I could call 911 or you could call 911. It seems like we should cut the middleman and just.
This person's nut is on the line.
Yeah.
That's good. We like that. That's like when you're like invited somewhere, but you already have other obligations. You're like, I would definitely come, but I got this other thing.
Yeah.
And then you don't go to either of them.
Oh, it's the best.
Yeah.
Yesterday I had a bunch of work.
Yeah.
Right? And there's this database we use. It's called CoStar. And that was down nationally yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
It was like Martin Luther King Day, part 2, I couldn't work. I wanted to work, but I couldn't. I didn't have access to any
Your
of it.
hands are tied.
Yeah,
Isn't CoStar the astrology app?
There's 2 co-stars.
Okay.
I think they're gonna merge together.
Yeah.
It's
just an offshoot of the real estate thing.
You're doing the real estate thing. It's just like this apartment is open and your moon is rising.
That's good. Yeah. They should merge.
They should merge. I think they already have. So also when Ben's not answering calls, he has another job that's very due less.
Oh, yeah.
We're very appreciative of this. If you want to talk about it.
So I tutor kids, and it's hard. It is the hardest 7 hours of my week. But
I mean, that's a lot. 7, jeez.
Yeah,
this guy's a machine.
Yeah.
7 hours. Spread them out.
Yeah,
You gotta spread them out.
Not consecutive.
No,
that's
that would
crazy.
be that would be a lot. I don't prepare for it. Kid, has some problems, has a math problem, has an essay they have to write, and I try my best to help. If it's an essay about a book that I've never read, I don't read it. I just help them with structure, quote unquote. Mm-hmm. And it's a great gig. It's a great gig.
I feel like tutoring is one of those things where you're almost better off doing less, because it's like you're teaching them you're giving them the tools to succeed.
It's a very similar example. It's like, I would love to give you the answers, but I can't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be unethical.
That'd be unethical.
So, helping them with structure, giving them guide them in the right direction.
Yeah, if you're doing too much, the student's not, so you're being a bad tutor. So you need to do less.
Which is why I firmly believe that you can tutor things that you don't know. So I can tutor German.
Yeah.
and I could just be like, speak to me in German for an hour. And I don't, and I'll just be like, good, you're practicing. It's like we're in Germany.
Right. What I like about, you basically never left high school, and I really enjoyed that.
That's a really good way of putting it.
Yeah. Because you were a great student yourself. You're a very qualified tutor because you're a smart guy.
I know most of the stuff that I tutor. Yes, absolutely.
So that's, once you peak, that's where you cut it off. So I think that's what you did.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've really learned anything since high school. I'm 30 years old. I don't think, and I'll tell you, it's all you need for people to think you're smart.
Well, if you could maintain what you know after high school, you're a genius.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, there's a show, Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? And almost no one was smarter than a fifth grader.
Right.
You know, like I'm dumber than I used to be,
of course.
I think. Yeah,
College just makes you dumber.
Yeah, college makes you dumber.
Yeah, you lose on all that knowledge. Ben is the smartest person in the world.
That's why I dropped out.
Yeah, which is very cool. I'm very
high
jealous.
school?
Yeah, no.
No, he's not that cool, but he dropped.
That would be.
He dropped out of college, which I'm very jealous
That would be awesome. I love that story. Jake's just like, hey guys, I'm going for my GED.
I'm trying to make something of myself. So I mean, those are 2 great do less jobs, I think.
So he's a great do less person. That's why he's going to be a recurring guest, because it's part of his life. It's part of the lifestyle.
There's a lot of people that talk the talk. Ben walks the walk.
He walks the walk.
So then we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
So another thing about Ben, he's an expert on films and movies.
That's right.
He has a breadth of knowledge. So we picked this first topic to be about our favorite do less movies. because we think it's important to get that across. See if any of you out there have seen any of these movies, let us know. But we'll go around the horn, maybe tit for tat. You thinking tit for
I
think
think do we do a snake? I don't know. Did we?
Oh, snake? I'm down. I think 3-person snake.
I think 3-person snake.
Auction? Do we go auction?
Highest bidder. Let's go snake. I started the last snake, I believe, so you go this snake.
Great.
It's a lot of pressure.
Listen.
All right, I'm gonna go with Inception. No one's awake during the whole movie. They're all sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about a dream. And for a dream, nothing really happens. I feel like compared to my dreams, there's not much. And also, that movie's not really about... Nobody knows what it's about.
Nobody knows what it's about. That's the great thing about Inception is it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So that was less right there. Nobody can figure it out.
Yeah, like, they didn't even have a premise. They just wrote a script. It became a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you another thing that's very do less about it, and a lot of movies use this technique, but especially Inception. I'm going to confuse. I haven't seen it in a while, but doesn't someone like explain to Ellen Page the whole movie?
I think they do.
Isn't there like 20-minute segments where they just explain?
I think
the
it's
movie?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He's trying. Am I right? I don't know. He's going through. He's trying to explain to her what's happening in these dreams, right? It's just dreams inside of dreams
Well, I was
inside of
gonna
dreams.
say-
Yeah, I mean he's explaining gibberish.
Yeah.
I mean it's not.
The best thing about Inception, also as a viewer, is it's very easy to make you can make it seem like you understand the plot, because anytime someone says something or questions something, it's a dream.
And I'll tell you what.
You know?
You also, if you are confident about what you think Inception is about, you're like, wow, this guy has it figured out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy has it all figured
But
out.
you really
He's unlocked.
don't have any clue what it's. I don't think Christopher Nolan knows what it's about.
No, I don't think Christopher Nolan knows what any of his movies are about.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Memento?
He's just he's just pulling the wool over people's eyes. Like he's just making the movie as confusing as possible, and he's just some genius that people think he is, but I don't think he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
I was considering Memento as a do less kind of thing, but then I realized that it, like most movies, is a cautionary tale when it comes to do less.
Oh yeah.
Because this guy is just looking for, I don't want to give away the ending, but he's just looking for the guy who killed his wife.
Right.
And that's that'll
Like let's just pretend like Inception was done. We got it. So you'd be up next.
Okay. And you want to just intro me? Like, all right, Ben, what's your
All right, we're back. We had some technical difficulties.
We're not sure how it's gonna turn out, but
Yeah, we'll fix it in post. Anything can be done. I don't know. Maybe we just play a song for you for a couple minutes. We'll see.
Jake is head of engineering. He's gonna figure it out.
Yeah, I gotta figure it out. So we're doing our top movies. I just said Inception. We're doing snake draft. So Ben's next. Your first pick.
Okay. So my first pick is the 2019 version of The Lion King.
Wow.
That's a great one.
And this is like an onion. Don't do less. There are layers for how do less this is.
I mean, we might have to have a whole pod on this.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. So I was gonna break it down. I don't want to get too sciencey, but I was thinking, what makes a movie do less? And I think that there are two parts to it. One part is if the plot of the movie itself is sending a message to do less.
Right.
The second part is if the people involved in the movie, the actors, directors, producers, writers, literally did less.
Right.
Lion King 2019 is both.
You're right.
I agree.
Yeah. That's a great formula. So we were talking about the live action.
Live action
Lion King. Which sounds like a lot, because action movies are the movies that do a lot, but it is do less.
We're talking remake here.
Yeah,
Remake
is
automatically.
automatically.
The
is less.
story is already there.
Yeah.
The songs are there.
Songs are there.
Right.
Characters are there.
Yeah.
Already, the original Lion King is based off Hamlet.
Right.
So it's kind of a remake of a remake.
It's a remake of a remake.
copy.
It's almost like an Inception of remakes.
It's an inception of remakes.
People talk about how a copy of a copy that's never good. I think it's great.
Oh, it's the best thing you could do.
Yeah, it's less.
Yeah.
So that I think covers like why it's less from like a production standpoint. But let's get into the plot.
Let's get into the plot.
Yeah.
Let's
So-
get into the plot.
Exactly. So plot-wise, first of all, it's Hamlet, right? The whole point of Hamlet is that the guy's not doing anything. He's just to be or not to. He's just mulling over whether to do something.
Right. We like that.
Yep. And what's the thing you remember from The Lion King? What is the message, the mantra you remember?
I just can't wait to be king. Right?
Wow.
Or Hakuna Matata. Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata is the only.
Hakuna Matata is what I was going for. I just can't wait to be king is good.
That's the
Circle
cautionary tale.
Circle of Life would be an acceptable, but I was thinking Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata,
Yeah.
I think, I mean, that just sounds like something you say at the end of a yoga class, you know?
And Timon and Pumbaa, those guys.
I
were
do
just
say it
living.
at the end of the yoga. As an instructor.
Namaste, Hakuna Matata.
Yeah. Instructors like quit with the bits.
Those guys were just living. Hakuna Matata. What does that mean? It's like
No worries.
no worries.
It means no worries for the rest of your days. It's
Yeah.
our problem-free philosophy.
Those are a couple of guys that are about to take their own day.
Oh, those guys. Those guys had it figured out, but then they got swept up in all this nonsense.
I know, I actually have always seen Simba as the villain.
Right.
Because he came and he took Timon and Pumbaa and pulled them out of their, like, you know, luxurious or leisurely lifestyle.
True. So that was the one reason why I was hesitating to do Lion King, is because at the end of it, they seem to glorify the fact that Simba does something and
Right.
goes back.
Mm-hmm.
I think if the movie ends with him just hanging out with Timon and Pumbaa, that would be a better movie.
Yeah, I agree.
We almost need to do another remake, different ending.
Yeah, another remake, different ending.
But all we do is just literally cut the 20 minutes. We
Yeah,
don't have
that's
to
it.
film
Yeah.
anything.
Well,
new.
that's why it's do less. Yeah, just cut it out.
Now it's a pilot.
Right.
All right, that's a great first pick. So we got Inception, Lion King. Mike's got 2 in a row.
All right. So I don't know if this is cheating, but I'm gonna say Ferris Bueller's Day Off. On the surface, seems like a do less movie, but really, he's doing way too much on his day off. Didn't like it.
I agree. I think even the setup to get the day off was too much.
Right.
You know, he had a dummy, he had a recording, he had strings connected to his, you know, it was like a science experiment.
And I would also say that not only was it not enough for him to do stuff, but he ropes in his catatonically depressed friend,
Right.
who's being abused by his father. All the guy wants to do is just sleep and mope,
Right.
you know, and that's his right. And then he strings him along into the whole thing.
He ruins his life.
Right.
He's sort of like Simba.
You want to take a day off? Take a day off. Don't be going all over the place. You're going to a Cubs game. You're going to the museum.
Singing at a parade.
Singing in a parade. Talk about parades. We're against
Lip
parades.
syncing. He's lip sync. Well, that's kind of do less, just to lip sync.
Some food for thought.
Yeah.
Some food for thought. Simba, villain, Matthew Broderick. Ferris, villain, Matthew Broderick.
Wow.
Is he the villain of this podcast? We need Keaton and
Listen,
and
I'll tell you what.
Matthew Broderick to
I
fight.
think we just
Right?
discovered something.
Broderick plays villains.
That's
He's
all he
villain.
does.
Yeah, he's a villainous actor.
Yeah.
Let's break it down. War Games.
Oh, that's a
Villain.
great movie. Yeah, he's
Villain.
doing so. I mean,
Yeah.
can you do more than war? He almost starts a war, and we have discussed
Yeah,
this in
we
the past.
just-
War, nothing
Hey,
more
we
than
don't
war.
like war.
Yeah,
Too
war
much.
is the most.
Pacifist.
Well, Gandhi's the face of the podcast.
Yeah, Gandhi's face body.
Best war, Cold War.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nothing
I mean,
happened.
If you were to let a war slip through,
Yeah.
it would be the Cold War.
Cold War. We could maybe get
Yeah.
down to the Cold War.
We'll give a concession.
Yeah.
Broderick, villainous. I like
He's
it. A lot of
villainous.
people think, Gary Oldman or Christopher Walken, whatever, but it's Broderick.
Broderick,
Yeah.
enemy of the podcast.
Yeah, this capitalist society wants you to think he's a hero.
Right.
He's a villain.
We don't like it.
Nah.
One thing to mention, I think we can look this up, and I don't mean to make accusations. I think Matthew Broderick in real life actually did kill a guy.
He
He
did.
killed the
I
guy.
think he ran over a guy, but that's not why he's a villain. He's a villain,
No.
not for manslaughter. He is a
Right.
villain for playing an animated lion.
Yeah.
That's why.
The roles he plays are unacceptable.
If it's manslaughter, it's not as bad because you didn't. But if it's first degree, I mean,
Well, first degree, that's premeditated.
yeah, it's too much.
That's too much. We don't like anything premeditated.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
allow similar to manslaughter is just the Cold War of murder.
Involuntary manslaughter. Involuntary manslaughter.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's nothing.
Your Honor, my client may have run over the defendant with a truck, but he was doing less.
Yeah, he was sleeping on the wheel. The guy
He
didn't do
didn't
less.
mean to do it.
Yeah.
So, also, Ferris, he's got a hot girlfriend. You're going to take a day off. Just spend the day with your girlfriend relaxing. What are you doing here?
Yeah,
I don't like it.
I agree.
don't kiss until the end of the movie. It's
And-
not what you spend the day making out with your
No, they
with
kissed
your
in the
girl.
beginning.
They
When he
kiss.
picks her up.
As far
At the end, they have a romantic moment, and I never got that
The
because they're
fact that
together
we-
the whole time.
the fact that we can't remember how much these high school kids kissed is a problem. They should have been kissing more. So that's what I gotta say. I think we discovered a lot.
So Ferris Bueller. So okay. So
Yeah.
I see why you said it was like it's a cautionary tale. It's a do.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that's allowed for this
Oh, absolutely.
draft.
Yeah. no,
Anything's allowed,
Yeah.
and also I'd like to another way to phrase it. I think it's like a do too much movie cloaked as a do less film.
Right, and
Yeah.
we need to point that out
We need to point
because
that
people
out.
can get fooled.
Yeah, exactly. So we're just looking out for the listener.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so that's Ferris Bueller's. That's Mike's first pick.
Yeah.
Second one.
Second pick, the rom-com guy.
Yeah.
All right. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Mm.
I'll tell you why. Character development, they did less. All right. She's a journalist. That's every woman in a rom-com. She's a journalist who writes for a fashion magazine. She wants to write about political strife in Tajikistan. All right. It's a classic rom-com character.
Which we should say disclaimer. We're very concerned about. We think about it often. Please donate to.
Please donate.
For,
Yeah.
I can't locate the Tajikistan on the map. All right, go for it.
So, Matthew McConaughey, he's from Staten Island, right? But they did not make him a Staten Island character at all. He had a Southern accent. Okay.
I like that. Well, it's the South of New York.
He just played Matthew McConaughey from Staten Island, but he didn't change his personality at all. He did less.
That's great.
And then I'll say this as the final thing why to do less movies. At the end, after they go through everything, they fall in love. She's like, I'm gonna go to Washington D.C. and go pursue my career dreams, and he's like, bullshit. There's no way you want to do that. You don't want to pursue work. You want to be with me, and that's the moral of the story.
That's a great one. That's a great one.
I'm gonna be devil's advocate.
Okay.
I'm not saying I disagree, but I'm going to give the opposite opinion.
And
In
that's
other
fair.
words, I'm going to liken How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days to Ferris Bueller's Day Off, which is on the surface you're losing someone, right? Nothing
Right.
easier than losing someone. That's do less. Be
And
single.
in 10 days.
In 10 days, short amount of time.
Yeah.
They're doing a lot to lose the person.
I was worried you would bring that up. And
They're going to Knicks games.
Mhm.
They're going to like balls and singing to each other. Carly Simon. They're what were some other things? They're visiting his family.
Yeah. There's a lot going on in 10 days. I was concerned Ben would recognize this and bring it up. But I did want to talk about the movie because I like the movie. So, I did less in my preparation. I was like, I'm going to try to fit a square peg into a round hole and talk about How to Lose a Guy in 10 days.
I got a list of movies where there's a lot going on. No, but I think I think the last line is a good way to.
Yes, all
It's
your
a
points
good-
were totally
yeah.
true.
Yes.
It's a good way to look at it because that's something. Because we do preach doing a lot for the sake of doing nothing,
That's true.
and she maybe
okay.
I don't know what happens at the end if there's she's doing nothing after and they live happily ever after
Yes.
doing nothing together. But
Mhm.
if that's the case, I think I'm on board.
Then we're on board.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they had to go through a tumultuous 10 days to do nothing together the rest of their lives.
Exactly. If anything, the 10 days are the most is like
That's it.
Yeah.
All right, get in, get out,
yeah,
move
that was
on.
their grind.
I buy that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Cool.
Okay, so that's my 2 in the snake draft.
That's
Back
next.
around to
I
Ben.
should also say,
Yeah.
I'll say my second movie. I noticed when doing research for this, movies, for the most part, people do more.
Way too much.
Yeah.
They feel the need to have plots and
Right.
conflict, and apparently no one wants to watch someone just hanging out.
Yeah, and it's like conflict just makes you sad. All right, let's just have the characters get along. Like the first 3 seasons of Entourage are the best thing I've ever seen. Then they started to bring in some conflict. After that, I don't like it. I just want to see them partying.
I agree.
You want Queens Boulevard
Right.
mini chase. You don't want Medellin
I don't want Medellin.
failure.
Yeah. Queens Boulevard, they're partying. They're at, they're with girls. They're being buddies. They're living together. That's what I envision us doing.
Just none of us are Vince. We're the other 3.
We're just the other
That's
three.
amazing. That'd be a great show.
Yeah. So yeah, Ben is right. A lot of movies do too much. Ben, do you have a second choice?
Here's my second, and this one is I'll also say my thought process with this. The Shawshank Redemption.
Wow,
It's a great movie.
unbelievable.
Great movie, funny.
One of the best comedies.
So
Yeah.
here's why I think it's a do less movie, and this is a do less movie, by the way, for the message of the plot, not for production. I mean, they have fancy crane shots and all
Yeah,
that. They went way too far with that.
No, they did.
It is an adaptation. It's an adaptation of a Stephen King book. So
We like adaptations.
We like adaptations.
We like adaptations.
The main character, Andy Dufresne, played by Tim Robbins,
Andy.
is doing way too much.
Mm-hmm.
He does
He's making deal. I mean, it helps that he's doing a lot to eventually retire in Mexico and do nothing.
Right.
But he is doing a lot. He's fixing the books and all this stuff.
Right.
And of course, he's doing a lot. We find out. Sorry to give it away. To escape.
Listen, once you're in jail, just cut your losses, okay? You don't try to be breaking out all the time. It's over with. Jail actually pretty good because you can just hang out with your boys. You get 3 square meals a day. You can exercise. You're drinking suds on the roof. Just accept it. You got no expectations in the outside world. Pretty good way to do less.
We have spoken about jail before. Jail it's a way to do less, but it's not the ideal. I don't want people mistaking it with the ideal. The ideal is to be living like someone in jail, but
Outside of jail. In the
outside
free
of jail.
world.
All right,
I
I'll say one more thing about Andy Dufresne doing too much, and this part will most likely be cut out. You guys, your full discretion.
Yeah.
Even during the prison rape, stay with me. He blows the guy rather than taking. It's doing too much.
Yeah, that's doing too much.
You didn't have to do that.
Yeah, but what a bench.
And I'll say this: the way he broke out of jail, come on, he's using a little hammer through the wall. That took decades.
Yeah.
All right. If you're gonna break out, find an easy way to do it. I don't want you doing manual labor over a period of 30 years.
That's true. You gotta pay someone on the outside.
Yeah.
So here's my reason why I choose that, because so far we're making it. So I mention Andy. I have to mention him. But I think the overall message of the movie is to do less because of the characters Red, played by Morgan Freeman, and Brooks.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those guys get out doing nothing. So
Right.
the message of the movie is you don't have to do anything. That was a waste of time that
Yeah.
Andy did.
Yeah.
And Red got out like not too long after Andy.
Oh, almost immediately after,
Yeah.
by giving some speech where he's like, "Yeah, you're not going to let me out,"
Yeah.
and they're like, "Yeah,
Reverse
yeah,
psychology.
guess what?"
Exactly. Well, that's
Yeah,
the thing. He was
yeah.
trying to put on airs and do this whole act, and then
Mhm.
when he decided, you know what, I'm not even gonna do anything, they let him out.
They let him out.
So yeah, that's a nice message.
Yeah. We like that one.
We like that one a lot. It's also one of my favorite movies. So great pick.
Great pick.
Shall I go next?
Yeah.
All right. I got a couple to choose from. Honestly, I didn't come too prepared. I will go with I Am Legend.
I had this one on my list.
Did you? I
No,
go with a different
no.
one.
Go ahead.
I'm Legend. I mean, you probably already know the reason why. But from a casting standpoint, they were like, Will Smith, does anybody have a dog? And that was it. That's the whole movie.
That's all you need.
It's just Will Smith in front of a green screen, and I like it.
No sets.
No sense. No one's in New York.
Nobody's around.
Like even the do too much city, the do too much capital is empty. So that's just symbolic of how little it is. And it has a very powerful name.
Yeah, he's a legend.
Yeah, legend.
Yeah, legend. We like legends.
Yeah, we like legend.
And I'll tell you this: a lot of movies like that, where it's just one guy. I'm thinking of The Martian.
Yeah.
Do the opposite. They're doing way too much. He's taking shits and making potatoes from it or whatever he's doing. I didn't make that. That's what he's doing in
That's
the
what
movie.
he's doing. That's the plot of the movie.
Castaway, he's making fires.
Right.
Whatever.
Trying to survive.
But I Am Legend, exception. I Am Legend is a
Shotgun.
do less solitary movie.
He just got a shotgun and he's on the road.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
and he's surviving.
Yeah.
But
Which we aren't
I don't-
totally
yeah,
sold
are
on.
we
but
are we on board with that? That's
I
what
don't know
I'm
if I love surviving.
Yeah. Like, are you at a point now where you should just call
Accept
it
that.
quits? Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta accept that. But that's my pick.
I like that.
I have a third one. And so there's a couple comedies that need to be mentioned, but maybe we put them on the honorable mentions.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Let's
So
see.
do I go with another serious movie?
Mm-hmm.
This is a cautionary tale. Parasite.
Mm.
And the reason is because they try to do too much with this family.
Yeah.
And then there's that scene when they're in the hostel and the dad is like, the best plan is no plan. So to me, like the symbol of do less is like a big theme of the movie.
It's what they learn.
It's what they.
It's the lesson of it's the moral of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like. It doesn't quite fit the formula because doing too much here with the plot and the
There are
genres,
a
just
lot.
like 5 genres in one movie.
There is a lot.
A little too much for me.
That is a lot. There's a lot going on in the movie.
Making the movie in a totally different language. I mean,
Yeah,
that
that's
was a lot of work.
That's
You
a
need
lot
that.
of
So you need subtitles.
That's where I draw the line. But
Yeah.
I've captioned videos before. It
Right.
takes time.
It
Yeah,
does
it's
take
not
time.
easy.
Yeah.
it's not easy. But also, it's a cautionary tale because we've talked about this. You know, there's 2 types of do less routes.
Mhm.
There's the do less route where you just don't do anything, or there's the do less route where you try to cut corners, and that often leads to trouble. And so that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to cut corners by like feeding off this family,
Mhm.
and they bit them in the ass.
Right.
I haven't seen the film.
Have you not?
I'll be
Oh,
honest.
wow. It's great.
I think Ben and a couple of our other friends went together and they were like, Mike, you can't see this. It's going to be too scary for you.
All right,
So,
that's fair.
you know,
It's
I
not-
don't like anything that's too scary, all right? It's going to give me nightmares. That's too much. I don't
Yeah.
need that. I'm going to have those on my own anyways. I don't need supplemental knowledge.
We can watch you can watch the first half.
Yeah,
The first half you would be on board with. The first
Right.
half is fun.
that's good. I like that. Cut it in half.
Got it at the first.
Yeah,
half.
Yeah,
that's
that's too
doing
much.
less.
It does too much.
Yeah.
It does go on too long. But yeah, it's a cautionary tale. That's my third pick.
Okay, so I was choosing between a few for my third. I'm going to go with this one because I think Mike in particular will enjoy it. The Notebook.
Wow.
Do less movie.
Do less movie.
Why? Gosling gets the girl when he stops writing letters and doing all this
Yeah.
hard work. Just let it come to you.
Let it come to you.
Let Rachel McAdams come to you.
Also, when you find the person you want to be with, that's it, and you're accepting nobody else. And it's just destiny at that point in time. And director Nick Cassavetes said, love is the only topic. Less. It's all about love.
It is all about love. It's all movies or TV shows are about people finding, I think it's like Gary Shandling maybe, people finding love and things getting in the way. That's
All right, that's the formula for every movie. Okay, why is everyone trying to do way more than that?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You're not gonna like to hear this. I haven't seen it.
Well, you know, I know what you're doing after this. I'll tell you that. You're gonna report immediately back. I love the movie. People, I sincerely, genuinely love the movie. It's a great love
I
story.
agree. I actually think it's a really well done movie.
It's not even a joke. And what I like about the guy that, and we've talked about this, the guy Rachel McAdams ends up marrying after she goes off to college and meets this guy, great guy.
Mm.
And so
They don't get married.
they don't. Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, they got engaged.
They get engaged.
They get
yes.
engaged.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, doing more would have been turning this guy into a villain and, you know, whatever, but this guy's just a solid war hero, great looking guy,
Yeah.
polite, good family, but he just couldn't match.
Breaking off engagements, good do less thing.
Don't
Runaway
fo-
bride.
Don't follow
good.
through.
Yeah, don't follow through on things.
Yeah.
Especially if you're the one who was proposed to. You never did anything
That's
other
important.
than say yes and avoid conflict
You gotta say yes in the moment. You have to say yes in the moment.
and then run away. On a
I think
horse.
saying yes is less than saying no.
No causes all sorts of drama.
That's one of the only times that's the case. Usually saying yes means you're agreeing to too much. You
That's a
know,
good
no
point.
is better, but this is a rare case where yes might be less.
I think that's a good point. Yeah. Only say yes if you get proposed to, no matter what.
Especially if it's one of us doing the proposing,
Right.
right?
I like that. Is there any other reason why you think it's a do less? Setting, you know, it's very simple, very quaint.
Very simple. If you're a bird, I'm a bird. I feel like that's a do less kind of quote.
Mm-hmm.
That's a quote from the Notebook. I feel like birds are very do less. They kind of just, you know, yeah, they migrate, but that's about all they do.
They were in the South, so they weren't even migrating in that movie.
That's true.
So,
A lot of people don't believe they're real. conspiracy.
Birds? That birds aren't real?
Yeah, there's a conspiracy that birds aren't real. That they're government surveillance.
All birds?
Yeah, all birds.
All birds.
All birds. The
Like
sneaker. No. The actual. I swear to God, if you look, you could look it up. There's a conspiracy theory. Some of the people storming the Capitol, maybe right now, believe this. Birds aren't real.
Which we will say this could be. This is an evergreen podcast. But we're going to say what we're recording right now. We're going head to head with the inauguration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We decided
Yeah.
to, yes, this is recorded. We're not being aggressive. We're not saying watch this instead of the inauguration or anything.
Well, I just felt comfortable doing it with Biden being sworn in because if it was Trump, I mean, we can't compete with those ratings. Right? So we have Biden.
Right.
It's
There's
an
room.
achievable
There's
goal.
more
Yeah,
audience.
There's more room.
There's
Yeah.
audience
We
that
got
we can tap
listeners,
into.
so.
Yeah.
But yes, while we are recording, Biden was sworn in as the president
Yeah.
an hour ago, basically.
Yeah.
So
Hopefully that's still the case.
Yes, still the case.
Yes.
Yeah, so we don't know. There could be. Hopefully, the birds are surveilling the country. We don't know what the hell's going on right now.
All right. So what the second?
I'm kind of on board with this bird theory because, how do birds know when you're coming from behind?
It's a good question. How do some birds talk? I don't like
Parrots.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's one of the things where it's like the flat earther movement, where you're like, this is the most ridiculous thing I ever heard, and then upon further investigation, you're like, all right, there's something here.
Yeah.
They might know what they're talking about.
And there's a lot of pigeons in New York City and stuff, and you need a lot of surveillance to cover this city. So
They have robotic movements. Check
Yeah.
them out one time. I'm just saying.
How do you explain the birds that we eat? Did I just not have the meal? Is it not really a bird?
Chicken might not be counted as a bird. They mean the birds flying around.
I guess, I've never eaten a hawk.
Yeah, but I guess you
Right.
could squab, back in the day. People were eating squab, it's pigeon.
yeah.
Well, it's still a delicacy, right? At a
It's
fancy
not,
restaurant, sometimes they have pigeon.
What
Yeah.
happens if we go outside right now and we just wring a bird's neck and cut it open? What are we gonna find inside?
A lot of wires.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
It doesn't explain roadkill. This is an elaborate
I've seen
conspiracy.
dead birds.
I've
on the
seen
street.
dead birds.
You tell me those are planted.
Planted.
Yeah.
There's actually, this is sort of a tangent, but I used to live in Greenpoint. There's a church right around the corner from me, and there would be a flattened bird every day outside of that church. It was the creepiest thing. Like doves.
Like the same bird or a different?
No, new dead birds.
New dead birds.
Regularly. Maybe they had something birds were flying into, but I don't know. It's kind of creepy, actually.
Oh
I
man.
don't like that.
That's-
Yeah. Near a church, that sounds.
Did you say
creepy.
doves? You would wake up every day to dead doves. That's the most foreboding.
Just beautiful doves.
Every day I'd wake up and someone would slaughter a unicorn in front of me.
There might have been a swastika painted somewhere, too. I don't know. It's satanic.
Oh man.
No, but yeah, I know. They weren't doves, but they were pigeons.
Right.
But dead
The
all the
doves
time.
of New York.
I
Yeah.
like the doves. Yeah, alright, sorry, I'm getting off topic. So, should we go back to the movies?
So Notebook is my third. Now Mike's third.
Yeah, Mike's there.
Okay, so I don't know if Jake has seen this one, but I'll have to give him a little context. Well, first of all, I'll say this is a trilogy, like trilogies, right?
Well, we like things that come in threes, but trilogy, it's a lot.
It's a lot,
Yeah.
but this, I call this the Godfather of trilogies, not the Godfather. It is Before Sunset, Before
great
Sunrise,
choice.
and Before Midnight. And I'll tell you why it's due less.
Oh, it's great.
There's only two characters. It's all dialogue, okay, and it's about love. Those are the only three things you need,
Alright.
all right? And it's just about their love story, spending the day talking back and forth, life, love. They're real characters. I'm convinced that wasn't even a movie. I think that actually happened. Like Ethan Hawke and I think her name is Julie Delpy. That was real. They have a real romance.
It's a beautiful romance. It's a very realistic story because
Yeah.
they fight, they bicker.
They do.
Yeah, that's a great choice. If you watch it, that is reminds me of Nick Cassavetes' father, John Cassavetes. His style movies, very sort of rough cuts and very, I think, probably improv is involved.
They're just talking.
They're
That's
just
what I'm
talking.
saying. That's
Yeah.
why it feels so real. It's just they're just having a conversation. They're doing a podcast on screen.
Yes, that's a
Now
good way
then.
of putting it.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, we're big on minimum effort, maximum output. That's what it sounds like with this, because they got 3 movies out of something very minimal.
3 movies out of a love story with 2
Yeah.
characters, just having a conversation.
Not to change topic, but I did think when you said trilogy, I thought you were going to go with The Hobbit
No.
because I think it's pretty. I think it's pretty, or Lord of the Rings. I
Yeah.
think it's pretty do less to take just one book and make 3 movies. Of it.
I like
Yeah,
that,
sure.
but what I don't like about The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings.
Was The
and all
Hobbit
that,
3? I'm sorry, or did they just break it to 2? I'm actually not sure.
I forget, actually. It might have been 3.
Anything
Which-
along those lines, other worlds, too much. All right?
Yes.
I
No,
don't like
that's-
world creation. I don't like anything that's not based in reality. Which is why I love those movies I just mentioned, because it's a real story that you can imagine one of us happening, and I hope that is how I meet my wife.
So I have some honorable mentions, but I think there's like 3 or 4 that would be everyone's that are worth saying. But then, do you guys have honorable mentions as well that or you want to?
I don't think I have any more. I think I ended on the best one. So,
I wanted to look something.
but
up.
Ben probably has a plethora
Yeah,
of honorable mentions.
I have one to throw at you while you're looking it up. Rear Window,
Great.
Alfred Hitchcock, right? That's the one I'm thinking.
You got it. Yeah.
Because that only takes place in one room, and the guy can't even walk. He's in a wheelchair. He's just looking out a window. That's the whole movie, and it's applauded for that.
Awesome choice. Another one that is also Hitchcock, starring the same actor, Jimmy Stewart, called Rope. That one is famous for being like a Birdman type thing. 1 room, 1 shot.
Oh wow.
And Birdman, 1 take, Michael Keaton. Although it wasn't really 1 take, we will accept that because Keaton's the hero of the podcast.
Speaking of 1 room movies, another one of my honorable mentions to go with a classic is 12 Angry Men.
Oh, great.
Old movie, Henry Fonda, and 1 room, no other sets. Very, very end, there's like a 2-minute scene outside of that room, still in the courthouse.
Right.
They don't
So
even
they
go.
don't go very far.
They don't
I
go
like
very
that.
far.
Mhm.
And then here's the other thing. A lot of the times you think like, oh, adaptation, if you base a movie off of a book, that's do less, right?
Mhm.
You want to know what's even more do less? Base it off a play.
Yeah.
It's already written for you.
It's
Yeah,
written.
and it's movie length, and
Yeah.
that's a great one.
I'll tell you about a 1-room movie. The Room. All right.
Wow.
Well, I
Yeah.
beg to differ. They get out of the room. And they're out of the room for a considerable amount of time. Wait, The Room? I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying The Room, the remake with that. Why can't I think of
Are you
it?
thinking of the Brie Larson one?
Yeah, not the Brie Larson one.
Oh, my bad.
Maybe I'm
Yeah.
thinking. Maybe I got the name of the film wrong. It was like the notoriously the worst movie of all time.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. I'm thinking of Room, no the. You're
Yeah.
thinking of the right
I'm
thing.
just
The Room.
so I'm thinking Room. right?
Totally.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Room. You're thinking of the.
Yeah, it's
you're,
The Room.
You're right.
Right.
You're
Okay.
right. Yeah.
So this guy made the worst movie of all time. So that's doing less.
Yeah.
But it actually it was so bad
Mm.
that it became a hit.
Minimum effort.
He did the
maximum
least amount possible that it was a huge success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's even a movie and a play about that.
Right.
Yeah, the producer.
And there's remakes from that.
Which the producers, loosely based on this podcast. We're producers. Idea guys.
Yeah, we're gonna do this.
We're of course talking about the original producers, not the remake with fucking Matthew.
Yeah. That's true. Matthew Broderick.
Talk about a
Can
villain.
rot in hell. And then a couple comedies, if that's cool, that I think we just have to mention. I didn't want to get in because they're, to me, obvious picks, but Office Space,
Absolutely.
Right.
Dazed and Confused.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Richard Linklater, same guy who did the Before
That's
Sunrise trilogy. He's a do less guy.
That would be less guy.
Boyhood, most do less thing ever.
One character.
But you don't even hire a new actor.
Yeah,
you
that's
just
what I'm
wait. You just sit on your ass and
Yeah.
let them age.
Linklater, he could be approaching Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, he's up
Yes.
there.
Yeah. At least the
and
filmmakers.
Clerks. Clerks was my last one.
Clerks, absolutely.
Yeah, but you haven't seen
Yeah.
it.
I haven't seen Clerks. I've seen the other two. We would be remiss if we didn't say Office Space. I mean, the whole idea of that is they don't want to be at work. It's a classic. that's not one where on the surface it seems like they do nothing and then they do nothing. They want to do nothing.
Yeah, to me, like, we shied away from those movies because they were more obvious picks, but that's why it's like I just wanted to mention it in case our listeners think we're detached from the do less lifestyle. We got our heads screwed
We're
up.
tuned in.
Yeah, we're tuned in.
So that's the movie, Do Less. We reserve the right to have Ben on again and do this again.
Yeah,
so
if not multiple times.
And we'll have him on for other episodes too. But we're going to move on. Are we doing other segments today?
We always got to do a couple segments.
Yeah.
We got word of the week, job
Yeah.
of the week, thing. I don't know, but we're
Yeah.
going to choose a couple. Let's see, do you have a job that you want to talk about? I have one I could talk about.
Yeah, listen, bring it up.
Venture capitalist.
Yeah.
Because venture capitalists, they always have the same advice to be a good venture capitalist. They say, I invest in people, not companies. So you're just, do I like this guy? Do I not like this guy? That seems like an easy job.
Mm-hmm.
And they make a lot of money.
I like the title of it because it sounds like you're doing a lot.
Oh, wait, that's another thing.
Yeah.
Title says a
Venture
lot.
capitalist.
Sound like Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're an explorer.
Yeah.
Like I like that. You're putting capital behind things. So that putting capital behind something, that's pretty good. You're just throwing your money behind it.
Letting your money work for you.
Yeah, let your money work for you. We don't, you don't actually get involved. Just give them some funding, and then take more on the return.
You don't even work at the company. You just fund it. You're not.
That's what I'm saying.
No, yeah.
It's like almost like a consultant or a contractor for money.
Yeah, exactly. You're not even giving an opinion. You just have to write a check.
Yeah.
And sometimes that check is written from the funds of other people. So it's not even your money that you're giving to them. You're just a middleman.
Yeah.
It would be an even easier job. Venture communist. there's nothing. There's no property. There's nothing to do.
Yeah, we like that. Communism, great idea.
Yeah.
Practice, maybe not so much.
I feel like the communist countries seem to be doing way too much. Because you get fooled in thinking, oh, communism is this do less, utopia. But then it's China, it's Russia, it's all these places doing a lot.
Communism is the Ferris Bueller
Yeah.
of political theories.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that. And the other thing is that my dad grew up in the former Soviet Union, and then things are so bad, the economy's so terrible, that then you have to do more to get out of there. Right. You have to really, you have people from Cuba risking their lives, coming over. You got, who was the Yankees pitcher? El Duque.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta come over on a raft.
It forces you to do more.
It forces you to do more. So that's a cautionary tale. Sometimes, again, things on the surface can seem like it's going to provide a lot of do less culture and environment or whatever. Makes you do more. We don't like that.
Yeah.
That's why when Biden raises your taxes, no, just kidding.
We told you so.
I think that's our political ideology will never be truly expressed in this podcast, but we stand against communism.
We like communism as an idea. But as an implementation, I've yet to see it work.
And we like the Cold War. So we like the conflict between capitalism
We're
and
huge Cold War guys.
Big Cold War guys. I'm hot for the Cold War.
Yeah.
Cool, so those are some of our... Alright, so that was Job of the Week, Venture Capitalist.
I think Ben might have a Word of the Week.
Oh, Ben has a Word of the Week.
I prepared something for Word of the Week. I said, I believe I'm pronouncing it right. It's a fancy word. Portmanteau.
Portmanteau. We like fancy words.
We like words, especially if they sound like they're from another language.
Yeah.
This must be.
Yeah.
I want to say Latin. Maybe
I thought
not.
it was French.
I thought it was French too.
Or maybe French. Maybe French.
So what does this mean? I don't even know.
It's a do less word. It is a word. It refers to a word that is the combination of two words, but you abbreviate the two words.
Okay.
So I'll give you an example. Motel. Motor, hotel.
Oh.
Don't bother saying motor. Don't bother saying hotel.
Wow.
Shorten them both, combine it.
So
Yeah. No ho.
Every
neighborhood. Every neighborhood in
Yeah.
the city is a portmanteau.
Yeah, exactly.
Or an acronym, which is also great. Dumbo.
Dumbo.
Just take the first letters and then create scuba. Put it all NASA.
NASA.
I didn't even know
AIDS.
scuba was
That's a good one.
Terrible disease.
Yeah.
Great name.
Gotta love the name.
Gotta love the name. Gotta love the name. We like that portmanteau.
Portmanteau, word of the week.
Word of the week.
Feel free to use it.
Start using it in your vocabulary.
Yeah, if you have a good portmanteau that you want to send us, send it to us. You can think of your own, or if you stumble across one. Should we do it? I think person of the week sort of emerged from this episode.
Yeah.
And it's really it's the villain, and it's Matthew Broderick.
Yeah.
And he's now the new villain of the Do Less podcast.
I think what we're doing here is we're setting up a Cold War between Michael Keaton and Matthew Broderick.
And we know
we want a lot of heat and tension between them, but we don't want anything to actually happen.
Agreed. I think also I have faith that Michael Keaton will come out victorious, but he has a heck of an opponent in Matthew Broderick, because this guy's evil knows no bounds.
What do we feel? How do we feel about?
He's a villain.
Yeah.
How do we feel about? I believe they're still married. About Matthew Broderick's wife, Sarah Jessica Parker, SJP. Do we automatically not like her just because of her relation to Broderick, or do we treat her on her own terms?
Attainable face. She's in. We like that.
Yeah, but I don't know about her preferences in men. You know,
It's true.
we'll have to see. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I'm not so familiar with her work, so it's hard for me to judge. But
I've never watched Sex in the City. She is an icon. Maybe I should watch Sex in the
do we
City.
like
I know
Icon? I don't know if we like because we like
we
Legends.
like
but I don't-
Legends. I don't know if we like icons. To be determined.
Sex in the City, pretty do less show.
That's what I.
Hanging
It's
out.
just about sex in the city.
Shopping.
Which is really that's the only things.
Yeah, but sex is a lot and cities are a lot.
It's
And
true.
it's both of those things, but maybe you put them together, it's nothing. I don't know.
It could be one of those things where it's the reverse of Ferris Bueller's. So
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Something to think about. Maybe Sarah Jessica Parker is a villain too. I don't know.
we'll have to be determined on that.
Yeah.
We'll do our research. Well, we won't do our research, but we'll come up with an opinion.
Yeah. I don't know if Michael Keaton's married. If he is,
He's got
she's
it.
probably amazing.
Oh, she's
Yeah.
the perfect wife.
But I did want to pick a Keaton movie. I sort of regret not picking a Keaton movie. But
Well, I'm going through Keaton movies in my head. He does some pretty do more movies, with the exception of Birdman, just because of the way it's shot.
yeah, we did do an episode on The Founder, but that was a cautionary tale.
That was
Got it,
a
okay.
Yeah.
Spotlight, they're doing a crazy amount.
Yeah, he does a lot, but it's acceptable because it's Michael Keaton, and that's just the
That's
rule
the
of the
thing.
podcast.
Yeah.
The other guys, he's kind of doing a lot because he's the police chief and he works the night shift at Bed Bath & Beyond. So
That's true.
Batman is obviously a cautionary tale, right?
Yeah, he does the most, but as soon as it's Keaton putting on the helmet,
yeah,
is
that's the one exception to the do less
Yeah,
lifestyle.
it's the only
Okay.
If Keaton's involved, we're on board.
because Keaton might have a do less life. He's doing a lot in the movies, but the guy only does one thing at a
In
time.
life, and he's spreading cautionary tales all over the place.
And he's the only American actor.
Right, everyone else is British.
Everyone's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack Frost, I mean, he's doing way too much. Just die. Why do you gotta come back as a snowman?
Reach the goal.
Yeah.
Mr. Mom though. That's sort of a do less. He becomes a stay-at-home dad.
Yeah, but it's hard work. The
It
point
is
is
hard
that it's
work.
hard work.
It is hard work. Guys, stay-at-home dad, hardest job in the world. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anything else we want to do?
I don't know. I think this was a good first episode for Ben.
Yeah,
We're gonna have him on plenty of times. I know he wants to be the Alec Baldwin of the podcast.
And Alec Baldwin test, and yeah, exactly.
Yes,
Where
right.
it's one of those things where it's like, is he part of the? Is he in the cast?
It's like, why isn't Ben a part of every episode? But
Look, as soon as we stop recording this one, we're gonna take a quick break. Press record again. We got a second one.
get him in the can. That's what you do in the biz.
I want everything I say today to be recorded.
But yeah, that's our episode for Do Less Movies of the Week or the year, whatever. We might
Yeah.
do it again, so whatever. We reserve the right to just repeat concepts.
We reserve the right to do whatever we want. Our philosophy is that we have no philosophy.
Right.
We want you to do less. Like, me, Jake, and Ben. We don't do anything all day. You're looking at it. If you're, hello to the viewers, which may be on a YouTube channel at some point. And we just want to tell you, rate and review the podcast so we can continue being podcast producers. It means the world to us. And Ben, you want to have any final words for your first appearance?
Just thank you so much for having me on, and it's a pleasure talking to you guys and doing less.
All right,
Thanks.
guys.
That's our episode. Oh, what a time.
You might want to cut out the